right, so welcome back to the channel, guys. It is me, 8744. Today, guys, we do our live debate show for the international month, June. So we're gonna be discussing, should countries hire foreign managers? Okay, so like I said, the streamer link is out there in the community tab. So if you want to join, you're more than welcome to. And yeah, we're gonna be here for around an hour. And if we don't get anyone to join in 10 minutes, of course, as you guys know, the stream will not happen, of course. So as usual. So we'll see if anyone joins. If no one joins, then of course we'll end the stream. So Matt Jones says, "Hi AD, thank you for joining."
Hello.
Hello. Okay, so we do have one person, so the stream will take place.
It will be.
All right. Just to let you guys know that this will probably be the only stream I'll do this month, probably because I'll be busy later this month going on vacation. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not really that interested in the Club World Cup and Gold Cup. So, so
unless
I probably
unless our clubs are in it, then it's
yeah. So enjoy while it lasts. And yeah, just to let you guys know that. And you guys like and subscribe if you're new on here. All right, so I guess we should wait for Mass to join, then we'll start with the debate, I guess.
I mean, more people might join. That's
yeah.
I mean, I'm probably gonna have mixed between these two, because obviously one of my nations won 2 trophies in a row with foreign manager, and then my main country, Sweden, went to the quarterfinals with a Swedish coach of the Euro, or no, the World Cup 2018. So.
All right, so we have our crew, man.
Hello.
That's just wrong.
Hello.
Like, anyways, but yeah, I mean, so let's discuss, shall we? So this is a really difficult question because I feel like it's hard to really answer this question because I feel like there's so many things you have to take into consideration. We have to talk about which national team you're talking about. For example, if you're from like San Marino, it's really difficult to find a San Marino person to coach the national team, you know. Whereas if you get a Brazil one, you know, Brazil, right? So I just feel like it kind of is difficult to like say. So this is actually a really good debate. This is actually really difficult to say. So I want to hear.
I interpreted the question. I interpreted the question. Should countries be allowed? I interpreted, should the rule of countries being allowed to hire foreign coaches still exist?
So basically, that means nations have to have a native coach.
Yeah, because
just like HH has said many times, like you play a country who has a Nigerian manager, for example, Nigerian players, like everything is from the same country. Like if you play against Brazil, you have Brazil coach, Brazilian players, Brazilian staff members. Like it's no, like not for England. I don't know what England staff members are there. I don't know if it's mixed or something. But obviously England have a German coach, English players, and I mean, if you have a foreign coach, does that really change that much?
I think Subjectively, I think it's a divided matter. Objectively, I don't know if there necessarily is one, but my stance is having experienced both domestic and foreign for both my national teams, men and women's team. I don't think this rule should change.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm mixed on this because I'm gonna take both my countries as the example. The Chile won with an Argentinian manager and a
Yeah.
manager in Pizzi. Like I think he's Spanish, but so Spanish Argentinian. And then obviously Sweden now has a Danish coach, which I don't know, but I mean it depends if you have good coaches from their country. Like for Chile, example, Chile has not the bad coaches, but okay, decent. Whereas Sweden doesn't have good coaches. You know what I mean? Even though we have many Swedish coaches who is doing very well right now. I mean, it can also bring new ideas having a foreign manager like Brazil. They have Ancelotti now. He can bring his ideas. Chile has hired many foreign managers, which I mean, I don't really care, but I only care about how the team are performing. But I mean, for some national teams, foreign coaches works very well. Like for Chile, foreign coaches, except the last one, which ended, lost 3, which ended terribly. I mean, like for France, example, you have Deschamps, you have Zidane, Blanc, you have these coaches are proven, proven French managers, and then you have, for example, USA, who has not the best coaches, and obviously you have an Argentinian manager. Like
Yeah.
for your national team, would you have a foreign coach or a coach that are from your country, like the same country national team?
Yeah. See, it's hard to say because like I said at the beginning, I think it depends which national team you're from. For example, I would say let's go ahead and decide, guys. Which are the best national team coaches right now? For me, I think Argentina is probably one of the best right now. You got a lot of good Argentine managers. You got Scaloni, you got Simeone,
Pochettino.
Yeah, Pochettino as well. You know, trying to think some other Argentine coaches that come to mind at the top of my head. These are probably the best 3. Is there anyone else I'm missing?
German,
Wait, who?
German, Spanish.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm just talking just for Argentina. So, is there any other Argentine coaches I'm missing? Like besides these 3, I think these are the 3 best.
I mean, these are the best, and then there's coaches that are good, but not as good.
Yeah, like I think the Colombian manager. I also forgot
Lorenzo.
Bielsa,
Yeah.
Lorenzo. I don't think these are the 3. I don't think they're the top 3. Would you guys agree? At least right now.
No. And obviously,
Whenever you're ready, I can make a general case for my perspective.
There's Jorge Almiron
is
as
good.
well. There's Almiron as well, which
He's not that. He's not one of the best. Come on.
I mean, he's not one of the best, but he's mid. I mean, they like like every country has very good managers, good manager, decent manager, and bad manager.
He got
Mm.
talked about a bit on my
There's
stream
Al-Salam.
yesterday.
There are Al-Salam as well.
Wait, Matt, what were you saying?
Oh, I was just saying that Almiron got talked about a bit on my stream yesterday.
I see.
Yeah.
So Matt,
I mean,
so
the
Matt, let's do,
disrespectful.
okay. So what? Okay, let's do like which national teams? Let's just do like top 3. Which national teams you guys think have the best managers in the world? I'd say Argentina, Spain, and Germany. I think these are top 3.
I'm gonna say Spain first, then Argentina, and then Germany.
Okay. You know what? I think I agree with Sebastian. Actually, I think I'm gonna go with that order.
Does Italy have a shout?
That's tough, because
Ancelotti.
probably not.
Nah, I don't think Italy.
No disrespect to Italian coach, but I don't think they're.
No, it's
that
only Ancelotti
high.
that's amazing. It's only Ancelotti that's really good.
I mean, otherwise there's
yeah.
Conte, there is Thiago Motta,
Conte.
there's Italiano.
I mean, Conte is good, but like I don't think I think there's like huge gap between Carlo Ancelotti and Conte. There's a huge gap.
There's a guy who was talked recently who got sacked by a certain national team called Spalletti, but we don't talk about him.
Nah, I don't think Spalletti's. Yeah.
No,
See, and besides Conte,
Inzaghi as well.
You could make. Okay.
I mean,
It's not
5-0 loss in the UCL final. I'm sorry. My trust is down.
There was one game though.
I'm sorry. If Pioli was coaching that final, it would not be 5-0. Just say.
If Pioli was coaching, they may not have got anywhere near the final.
Okay, well, let's just say. I think we can all agree that. I think we can all agree Inter was going to Inter will lose either way.
Spain is the best one. Let's be honest.
Okay, let's read some comments here. I'll join shortly. Sebastian Greca is Peruvian. He did it. He took down Chile for the war.
He's a fraud.
So he was a double agent.
You know what we actually should have had? We should have kept Rueda or Lasarte, by the way. We would have been into the World Cup, by the way.
Wait, so are you saying that Greca was a double agent?
Yeah, he might go back to Peru, by the way.
Oh man, that's just.
I mean, don't worry, Chile will be back in a few years in the CONCACAF region.
Nationalist says hi. Wait, did you say CONCACAF?
I mean, well, we won't even qualify in the OFC, man. We're garbage. Well. Thank God I have Sweden at least. Come on, Sweden.
Yeah. Chile's finished.
Isaac, World Cup winner. Oof.
Yeah, Gallardo's good.
I mean, he's decent. I mean, he has done decent with River this year. Obviously, won the Libertadores last year. Nearly. But, yeah, I mean, yeah, he ruined my chances of being in a World Cup. I'm just saying. I mean, like foreign managers for smaller nations. Like let's look at that. Like we have Albania.
That's be part of my argument.
Okay, wait. Let me go to the comments. Argentina has the best managers because it took when it was a mess and made people work around Messi.
Okay. And penalties.
Okay. Here's the thing. You could say that Scaloni is probably the best manager in the world right now, but I don't think that makes Argentina the best crop of managers right now in the world. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So, because like it's only one person. For me, managers, you need to have at least 3 or 4 or 5 to even be considered the best in the world. And Like, let's be real. Look at the other Argentine managers. Besides Scaloni, Simeone is great and all. Currently, he's not as good as before. You know, he's not as peak. And obviously, we just talked about who's the other guy? Pochettino. I mean,
Pochettino.
things he's not doing well in the United States right now. So, like, there's a huge clear winner there. The other two are not even close to Scaloni's level right now, currently. You know, now I know Simeone's achieved a lot in his career, so maybe it's a bit disrespectful to say now. But the point I'm trying to make here is that I don't think RG have the best set of managers right now. They're top three, I would say that, but I don't think they're the outright best.
I'm gonna say this: England doesn't have top 10.
All right, let's go to the comments. Rearsage said 4 managers only work well for smaller nations.
I mean, that's true. And that's probably true.
Is that Matt? Do you agree with that?
I don't think it's as straightforward as that.
I mean,
where's he drawing the line to smaller nations?
yeah, I mean, if you say Sweden, that's disgusting and disrespectful. But I mean, probably the likes of Albania, Finland, Norway, Denmark. They can hold that, by the way. Norway can hold that. I mean, as a guy who have not seen my countries in a World Cup final, but I don't know. Maybe because we've seen the likes of. Does Curacao have a foreign manager?
I believe they do. I'm not sure that's on my head, but I'll have to check. But I'm pretty sure they do. I'm pretty positive. Okay, let's read some comments. It's time for Pellegrini for Chile. With 70 years, it is now 70
Jesus
years.
Christ. No, the age is just the number, by the way. He's still better than Berhalter, just saying. If he was 90, he would still be better than Berhalter, by the way.
Yeah, well, that's not saying much.
And Poch.
Okay, now I don't know about Poch. I don't know about Poch, but okay.
Poch is a fraud, man.
I respect Poch, man. Prime Force says Italy has best managers, bro.
Nah, Spain. You have Luis Enrique.
You have Luis Enrique is amazing.
Yeah, you have
I feel like we're sort of losing focus on what the actual debate is.
Not really.
Okay, but my point here is that if see, the thing is, like, I think this is also another thing. If you don't have that, because here's the thing. Let's look at Brazil, for example. Do you guys think Brazil hiring Carlo Ancelotti is the right decision?
Yes, well, definitely in comparison to their own managers, which I remember talking. You and I were talking with a Brazilian, and there wasn't really a good available Brazilian coach left. In fact, the best one, apart from Tite, who there may have been some other issues, but aside from him, the best available option was Felipe Luis, and he's a young manager. So the fact they went for a very good foreign manager was the right call.
Like for a country like England, who is not a big footballing nation, I'm sorry, they're not. Having a coach from own country, is that better for England, or is it having now a coach who is not non-English?
Well, let's find out with the next World Cup. But certainly in the case of the women's team, it's helping because our Dutch manager has won us a Euros and took us to a World Cup final. But I'm gonna make after the two comments to go. I'll make the case for why I think nations shouldn't be exclusive to manage it to having managers of their own nationalities.
Like let's look example for Jordan, who qualified for the first ever World Cup.
Can we complete the comments first, AD?
I don't know where it went, but I'm gonna say an example on Jordan, who actually made the World Cup for the first time in history. They had, I believe, Jordan had a coach from Morocco before the manager they have now, and that actually benefited Jordan because they qualified from having a Moroccan manager.
Yeah, that's true.
And obviously Uzbekistan. I don't know if Uzbekistan have a coach from their country or because I swear they had a Serbian or Croatian guy, and I know he got sacked or he left. But yeah, like for those countries who never made a World Cup and they get a foreign manager, that could help very much for them to qualify for a freaking World Cup. For example, Finland, they now have a Danish coach to try to qualify them for the World Cup. So, and they never qualified. Hold that, Finland. So, I mean, for those nations who never qualified for a World Cup, I think it's very good that you have a foreign manager. But of course, if you have made a freaking World Cup, unless you want to win, you need like a Zidane or something.
So you're saying that if a national team is qualified for a World Cup, if a national team is not qualified for a World Cup, then you should bring a foreign coach.
Yeah. If you haven't qualified in your, because if you if you never qualified for a World Cup, like let's take for example Haiti, or have they qualified for a World Cup?
Yeah, they have a long time ago.
Okay, so let's say San Marino, for example. You bring in a foreign manager right now, or before the playoffs, if they are there, and they win the 2 games and qualify for the World Cup, then that's a smart move. But if you're, I mean, it's good to have foreign managers because they can bring something new, like for what Jordan have done. Like they brought in Moroccan manager with something new, who have some ideas how he want to play, and then we qualify with the manager like that.
We've got 4 more comments to go through.
Yeah, let's read some comments. Another decent Argentine manager is Batista. Venezuelan manager is on the brink to put them into intercontinental playoff. Yeah, Angelo has Brazil because players are almost in Europe and they respect him as a paternal relationship. You cannot put someone like Mourinho in Brazil. Yeah. And man, you cannot tell me because McLaren speaks English is a good manager in Jamaica. They brought him because for the English migration to the team. Yeah, McLaren's not good, bro.
Nah, he isn't.
Prime Bar said Jordan ain't doing nothing, man. Well, I think them to qualify for the World Cup is a commendable achievement. Obviously, they probably won't do well at the World Cup itself, but just to be part of it is incredible. You know,
yes, they haven't. Yes, they ain't doing none. But the fact that they qualify is huge for the country, and they did that with a foreign manager. Which, if they had a Jordanian manager, I don't think they would qualify. And that experience that the foreign manager have, he could bring it to the national team and then qualify. For 48 countries, but it's still, you qualify for a World Cup. That's huge.
Okay, so AD, can I make my case now?
Yes, you can.
So the first main reason I believe that this rule should not change at all is that the role of the manager has a significantly bigger role in the club setting. Yes, maybe sometimes managers don't have enough of a say in the transfers, but generally they do, and they can and pick and choose who to keep, who to move on, and things like that. But in the international setting, it's about the players. It's not about the manager. Um, and when you go to a major tournament or watch a major tournament as a fan, you're watching it for the players, not for the manager. The players are the focus, and and in international management, you can only pick players that are eligible for your national team. And so the manager there in an international setting is more there to accompany and facilitate the team, whereas in club football, he's like the main person. So someone like a Pep Guardiola is going to have a lot more influence than, say, Luis de la Fuente for Spain national team. And if we are changing the rules, so a nation has to pick someone from their own nation, are we then going to say that the assistants, the medical teams, the war automaton have to be of the nationality? I think you could open a dangerous can of, well, not dangerous, but you could be opening a can of worms by setting the rule. And the other thing, Art, is we've seen nations develop as a result of having foreign managers. And one key example is Hervé Renard. He helped take Zambia to get their first ever Africa Cup of Nations. He did the same with Ivory Coast. I don't know if it was the first time in a while, but Ivory Coast were one of the top African nations, and he managed to bring history to what is usually one of the more unknown nations in Africa. Carlos Queiroz at Iran didn't fully succeed in the World Cup and the Asian Cup, but those players were able to develop their careers a lot with his influence. And there's other examples too, where you've had these developments, and Greece is another example where the Euros was won by a German manager. And so, yeah, to round off my main argument, one, the smaller nations can develop at a very positive rate if you keep this allowance, and also in international football, the manager is not the main part of the game. So they, among some other little reasons, is why I believe this change should not go ahead.
Yeah, you make a lot of good, compelling arguments.
Well, thank you.
Because it's the problem with this. The problem with this question, guys, is it's hard to generalize. You can't just say, "Oh, it's for sure you should do it," and for sure you shouldn't do it. I think it depends. For me, if you're like a top nation in the world, you should probably try to go for a coach of your own type. But if you're not a top nation, then you probably shouldn't. And the question is, what do you consider as a top nation? Like, what's the parameters?
And even then, even if I think intending to go for a manager of your own nationality is one thing, but that still doesn't deter you. That still doesn't mean you can't employ a foreign coach like we have seen with Brazil, England, USA, based on like kind of the managers available. Like possibly the best English manager is Lee Carsley, and even then he's at the under-21s. So
it's Southgate. Southgate is the best England manager, and that's the truth.
He might not even count as a manager, given that he's not active.
Is he a coach? Is he a coach then?
I don't know, but that's a topic for another day.
All right, let's go. Let's get the new person, Silva, man. What's your thoughts on this, man? Should if countries hiring foreign managers?
Well, the question is, should they be allowed?
Yeah.
I mean, look, I'm not opposed to countries hiring foreign coaches because you have countries like in, let's say, the Caribbean, like Jamaica. They don't really have coaches there. So who do you expect them to hire? Like a local guy who's just working in a plumbing area? Is hiring a foreign coach is not the end of the world. They will, if they learn the culture, they learn the football in the country. I think it's fine. Like, and it really depends on the nation. Like, if they don't have good coaches themselves, then why not go for a foreign coach who has proven himself already?
For example, Sweden, who is a good footballing country. I respect my country. We have a foreign coach for a reason, just because our managers
ain't
good enough yet.
I can't think of a Swedish coach who's actually like really good. And
I mean, we have some.
They went to get a foreign manager, like you said, which it's nothing to be opposed against.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not good enough yet for the national team. They need a bit more experience.
I mean, look, if your local coaches are failing for the national team, why not go for a foreign coach who's proven himself?
We're probably waiting for the Swedish coaches to be more experienced in Europe.
Silva's right because Brazil, England, they've tried their own local coaches for a long time and it didn't work. You know.
Well, it's
exactly.
I don't know if how far back you do mean by a long time, because we did have a Swedish coach and an Italian coach for I think 2001 to 2006 and 2008 to 2012.
No, but I mean,
England are not a big footballing nation.
I mean, I remember England. They had Fabio Capello, who at the time was a renowned coach from Italy, was a Champions League winner, who coached at Real Madrid, coached at AC Milan. He was at the big teams, and then he went to England, and it didn't work out for him. And I'm not saying that if you get a foreign coach, you're going to be successful. You can fail. There's a possibility as well for that. We've seen it before. But for the top national teams, we never really seen a foreign coach go to like the top national teams who won the World Cup. Like the people who say like, oh, a foreign coach never won a World Cup, that statement is so flawed because the top national teams like Brazil, Germany, Italy, Argentina, France, etc., they never had a foreign coach going into a World Cup. England did. They had Capello go to 2010 World Cup. But the rest of the World Cup winners that I've mentioned, they never had a foreign coach go to a World Cup. They always had a local one. So the sample size is not really that big.
Sven-Goran Eriksson's Swedish, and he managed England in 2002 and 2006.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
fucking like England is not France, Brazil.
Well, Silva was talking out of the World Cup winners.
Yeah.
I mean, I said besides England, to be fair, but
Yeah.
England did have two foreign coaches that went to the World Cup and didn't work out so well, and that's why I say and it could go both ways. Either they basically succeed or they fail, but the sample size is so low. Only England have really done it. The other top national teams, they never did.
Okay, let me ask you guys this question.
But
For
look,
next year's World Cup,
I will say.
wait, let me ask a question. For next year's World Cup,
Okay.
do you guys think we're going to see a foreign coach win a World Cup?
We definitely can.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
obviously possible.
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut on that one because you know what I'm cooking.
It's a possibility, like, because you have two top national teams with foreign coaches now. You have Brazil with Ancelotti and England with Thomas Tuchel. But it is a possibility. I'm not going to say that a foreign coach will win it because you have nations like Argentina, Spain with their local coach, but it is a possibility.
And I'm looking at Chile obviously because we have had Argentinian manager, Argentinian Spanish, Colombia, obviously Uruguay.
Yeah, like this guy is saying with Chile. I'm going to say another point. I'm going to say that we've seen foreign managers be successful at lower nations. Like, for example, Chile, they won their first Copa Americas with a foreign manager. Both of them, both coaches were Argentina, with São Paulo and Baeza. Both of them from Argentina.
PC was
sorry
actually,
to do so quick.
Yeah, PC was.
And then Portugal. People talk about the Portugal team. I mean, people talk about England's golden generation that failed, but you have to look at Portugal as well, and in that time period as well. They went to the Euro finals, which they lost to Greece, and Greece, their coach was not from Greece. It was a foreign manager who won the Euros with Greece. And the Portugal that made the final, the coach was not from Portugal. It was from Brazil.
And there will be nations next year, a lot of nations who will have foreign managers in the World Cup.
Yeah, even
So,
in
like
2006,
Portugal.
even in 2006 when Portugal went to the semis of the World Cup, the coach was a foreigner. It was not from Portugal. So we have seen coaches who have been successful with foreign nations. And I will also say this with Jamaica. The first time they qualified to the World Cup, the coach was not from Jamaica. It was from Brazil.
Yes.
So we've seen foreign managers be successful elsewhere.
And also, Silva, it was Uzbekistan and Jordan. They both qualified for this year's World Cup. Next year's World Cup debutants. They got a foreign manager.
Wait. Who does Uzbekistan have now?
The guy. I think he's from. Where is he from? Let me check. I think he's from. He's from Russia. So
Russia. I thought they had someone from Serbia or Croatia.
And
I think he resigned. That's why.
Okay.
So.
No, Jordan.
I know.
Okay.
Tajikistan had
people don't take Asian Cup. I know people don't take Asian Cup seriously, but when Qatar went back to back, their coach was not from Qatar. It was a foreign manager. It was from Spain.
They had two Spanish coaches, in fact.
Yeah, Tintin Martinez and Lopetegui right now.
Yeah, Lopetegui right now. So
and also, what was the other? Saudi Arabia, when they beat Argentina in the World Cup, their coach was not from Saudi.
Yeah, it was
and next year's World Cup,
that same coach won Zambia the AFCON.
We all
exactly.
Who knows if because all of our countries have a foreign manager, so who knows? Maybe it's.
That's true.
And now I'm going.
I'm just saying.
I'm going to say this. Look who won the Nations League this year. Look who won the Nations League this year. It was
I mean,
Portugal. Guess where the
Ronaldo,
coach was from? It was not from Portugal.
Spain.
my goat Penaldo has something to cook. I'm calling him
Okay, guys, I
Penaldo.
want to. Okay, so I want to ask you guys this question: which countries you guys think have the best managers, like managers right now in the world?
Spain,
I think Spain's the best right now.
because
I'm
you
not
have
sure.
Luis Enrique, UCL winner, treble winner.
Pep Guardiola.
Pep Guardiola, yeah.
Lep Guardiola, yeah, Lep.
Hey, respect Pep.
No, we call him
He's
Lep.
better than Luis Enrique.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
You have Martinez, who has done
I
great
also
things for
say
Portugal
I'll
so
also-
far. Like so far,
I'll
yes,
say this.
for
I'll say
Portugal.
this. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna also say this that managers who are successful at club level, they won't always be successful at national team because look at Luis
Yes.
Enrique was terrible with Spain, but won the treble at PSG. Hansi Flick was terrible at Germany, but he's cooking at Barca right now.
I mean, is he cooking really? Yes.
Yeah, he is. Stop with your agenda. We know you have an agenda.
It's not really an agenda, but
It is, Bob. It is.
I mean, how many? Okay, how many goals did they consider against Inter, which lost
That
5-0?
doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. They still competed until the last minute, and then the center back bottled it. We would have been in the final. With that team, no one expected Barca to be even going to the semis with Hansi Flick's first season.
But let's see in the World Cup who wins with a foreign manager. It would be funny if all our nations end up in the same final. It would be funny. Like
Wait,
imagine,
all of us. Chile are not in the World Cup.
No, Sweden. We'll be cooking. We'll be cooking. Best front three in the world. Just say we're cooking. I mean, we have a
Best
Danish
country in
coach.
Europe.
I mean, Matt has a German coach. You have an
Yeah.
Italian coach. AD has a Argentinian coach. So who knows? Maybe we'll see Sweden, USA in the
I
World Cup
mean,
semifinal.
look, USA right now with Pochettino, that's a good example of how
Oof.
foreign managers won't always succeed.
Respect Poch, man. Respect Poch.
I-
He actually
Um,
he took Spurs
There's a
to
lot of
youth
comments.
final. Yeah, I mean, it's just fraudulence, honestly.
And then
People are
look with USA,
People are literally
with-
disrespecting. People are
with
literally
USA,
disrespecting.
the last
What-
time USA did well in the World Cup was 2014, and their coach was from Germany.
I mean, people are literally like Morocco made the World Cup semi-final. Like Sweden can do that, and we have a better attack. I'm sorry, whoever thinks
Morocco are better in every other position.
Yeah,
I'm saying
yeah,
attack, I'm
Morocco are
saying
much better
attack
than
is wrong.
Sweden.
attack wise, like the front three. Sweden has a much better Morocco.
Bro, this guy likes to go off topic all the time.
Okay, guys, let's get back on topic.
No, but it's the reality. Sweden has better front three than Morocco.
No, that's not what we're talking about, though.
Okay, but the point I'm trying to make here is that because I'll be honest with you, I think next year's World Cup we could see a foreign manager win it. We could see the first. I think it could very well happen.
We'll be there.
Look, these kind of things, there's always a first time for everything.
Yeah, there's always a first time. All right,
Like for
so
Euros, they never had a foreign manager win it until 2004.
yeah,
So anything can happen.
How many foreign managers have actually won the World Cup? Like with other
None.
national?
there's
Zero.
none.
Yeah, so like who knows? Maybe it can happen next year. I don't know.
Yeah, next year I think is very possible. Let's read some
It's
It's
comments.
very possible.
Yeah, because I think most of the teams who will qualify, they will have a foreign manager.
Yeah. Neil Mukherjee said the white countries in Southeast Asia have foreign managers, for example, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, etc. Because there's not enough good enough from their own nationality. You
The
know?
dog shit managers.
Oh,
they all
Bangladesh
deploy
has a foreign
plumbing.
manager.
Yeah, Bangladesh has foreign manager.
Who?
I think it's a Javier Cabarra. I think is the manager. Yeah, he's from Spain, I believe. Yeah. Anyways, Prime Barca, they don't succeed. 80 wants him. No, I don't want this guy.
Yeah, he's the goat though. Respect Berhalter.
Mm.
The manager's not on the pitch, so we'll give you competitive advantage on the pitch to have a foreign coach. Yeah, man, I think the question's kind of bad because there's nothing wrong with foreign coach, bro. Well, this was a topic, and I think it's a good debate, actually. I think it's a good debate.
I mean, you know what? Look, I'm gonna also. The last guy brought up a point saying that the coach is not on the field, which now it reminds me, like, okay, forget the coaches. You have teams like Qatar having foreign players on the field. So, like, if that's allowed, why not have the foreign coaches do it?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like
Excellent.
Italy have some Brazilians in their national team, Brazilian born like Jorginho, and no one has a problem with that.
Yeah, and I think
But
UAE as
foreign
well. I think
mana-
there's a lot of Brazilians.
Yeah, the UAE, lots of foreigners there.
Yeah.
And even in like other this will slightly deviate, but it'll still be on the core of the subject of the video. But in other sports as well, including rugby union, they also have managers from other countries for some teams. Like for example, during the last World Cup, England were managed. Well, actually, no, not the last World Cup, but there was but one of their best runs in recent years was they had an Australian managing them, and I know there's been an example of an English managing France, and there are other examples, including in the smaller nations. So the point being, if football went to, what would football really be gaining for if countries could only pick a manager of their own nationalities when other sports are not doing that at an international level?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's also a good point. I mean, look, with Matt's country as well, England. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mark Guehi, he's not from England. He was born in Africa, and he came to England, and he's allowed to play for the national team. So, again,
Yeah.
why can't coaches do the same?
Yeah, Ericsson wasn't successful. British manager with the projection is Eddie Howe. However, could get dropped. I remember when Potter was at Brighton, he had a lot of projection. They went Chelsea, screw everything up.
I
Okay,
mean,
so
look,
Matt's got a question for you.
with Eddie
Wait, let me
Howe,
ask Matt's.
okay.
Wait, let me ask Matt's first this question. Matt, do you think that it was better to go for Tuchel instead of Eddie Howe for the England national team?
Yes.
Okay, and now so you can.
I mean, look,
And I just thought of another point as well, and what would be better to have a foreign manager who of course isn't domestic, but has had experience as a player or even as a manager at international level, or in this case, or in my case, an English manager who's never even been called up to the national team, which what you miss out on with that is you don't have that kind of insight.
yeah, I agree with Matt. And with Eddie Howe, look, I know this is not comparable at all, but like in Brazil with Diniz, he had a good projection at Fluminense, went to Brazil and did completely shit. And with Eddie Howe, he did well at Newcastle, don't get me wrong, but is he really that guy to take the pressure, go to the national team? Forget Newcastle, you'll have the entirety of England on your back now, pressuring for you to win the World Cup, even though you don't have that much experience in the, like, for example, Champions League. You've worked there for one time. Meanwhile, for Thomas Tuchel, he's a cup champion. He wins these kind of cups.
Yeah, he's covered it.
You saw it with Chelsea. Came in mid-year and he won the fucking UCL. Season before, he went to the UCL final with PSG first time.
Yeah.
So, and even with that shit Bayern team, he went to the semifinals, almost went to the final last season if they didn't model it to Real Madrid. So,
yeah,
look, Eddie Howe, good coach, but
It's too soon.
He is not England national team level over Thomas Tuchel.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like AD,
Yeah.
for example, because Berhalter, he used to coach Columbus
Sweden.
Crew, right? No, Columbus
Yeah.
Crew before
No,
USA.
I think he also coaches. He also coached a Swedish club. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Hammarby.
but
Yeah.
but before USA, like the team before
Yeah.
USA, was he a Columbus Crew?
Yeah. I think it was.
And look, I'm going to
Yeah.
say this as well. It's not like Thomas Tuchel is out of the picture for English football. He managed in the Premier League with Chelsea, so he has insight of the Premier League.
Yeah. All right, guys. We need to wrap this stream up soon. So let me read some of you guys' final comments. Maybe Martinez with Portugal. Tuchel looks woeful. I mean, I think it's too soon to say. So,
Yeah, it's too soon. I'm not going to judge now. Everything can change in a few months in international football.
Yeah. Box says Spain, Argentina, Portugal, or France will win the World Cup. Ooh. We'll see.
I'm saying okay.
I mean, look, AD. I remember what I told you a few months ago. Everything can change in a few months.
Yeah. I'm not
Before,
gonna.
no one had Portugal. Now because they won the Nations League, people have Portugal winning it.
Yeah. Let's see, man. Let's see. We have to wait. We'll wait, man. We'll wait. Hedenek took South Korea to World Cup 2002 semis. How do you pronounce his name? Nepesmiki took Cameroon to World Cup quarters 1990. Morelos is a top manager working for a long time with the team. And the thing is, like, the thing is with teams that have their own coach, their local managers, they stick with them for a long time. You know.
And also, Japan is probably the best Asian nation.
Like, look,
Yeah.
Uruguay. Like with Uruguay, they had Tavares, who was probably the best coach ever, at least in this century, and they kept him for a very long time.
Yeah, that's true. So, yeah, Morelos is a good manager. We saw what Japan did at the last World Cup 2022. They were fantastic and they're looking great. So we'll see if they can make the quarters next year. Rajovic to Ghana to World Cup 2010 quarters. Sweden, England, USA, Chile, Brazil not making the semifinals. Ooh.
Okay. No,
Well, Chile definitely not.
Yeah,
Well,
I
Chile's
mean,
definitely
yeah, definitely not. I mean,
surely one of us.
What? I'm not gonna speak before. I'm not gonna speak before the semifinal. So if one of those four nations made the semifinal, then I'm gonna talk.
Wait, you know what's really crazy?
I'm gonna stay humble, by the way. I'm gonna stay humble, by the way.
Magic Box is actually right though. None of these nations he mentioned actually makes the semis. Ooh, that'll be interesting.
I'm gonna first of all, I'm gonna stay humble. I'm gonna keep quiet because I talk too much about that.
I mean, look, those four nations that he mentioned. Imagine they had their local managers.
Everyone is cooked, by the way.
Tell my son is a Sweden as he understands Nordic football, tough experiences like a player.
Yeah, I mean, let's see what he can do. Let's see.
Spain, Argentina,
as
Portugal,
does
France.
Tuchel in England.
Man, I pray for Portugal. I pray for Portugal and Argentina to get grouped in the World Cup. I'm praying for that to happen.
Man, people are really saying Portugal now because they won the Nations League, man. That's too funny to me.
I mean, Ronaldo fans also. Like, don't forget, Ronaldo, Messi fans, like, they're delusional.
Okay. Italy best managers, they have way more than Spain, by the way. Okay, name them then.
No, Italy doesn't have. There's no way Italy. Who won the UCL final, by the way?
I'm trying to think of it. Italian managers, you have Ancelotti, Lippi, Allegri, Inzaghi, Motta. Who invited him?
Conte.
I mean, he's Italian. He's Italian.
Yeah, Conte. Conte is a serial winner.
Vincenzo Italiano from Fiorentina.
No, but the thing is, like, I'm sorry, Spain have better managers. I think the best managers in the world right now are from Spain.
I mean, right now, Spain, but Italy all time, maybe Italy.
Italy. I think Italy all time probably is better. All time, Italy's probably better. But I mean,
but right now, Italy don't have good coaches besides Ancelotti and Inzaghi. Even though Inzaghi got fucked in the final, he's still a good manager.
Yeah. So Brazilians play for everyone. Japan, China, UAE, Portugal, Italy, Croatia, etc. Is that true?
Well,
What
what?
did you
Here's the other
say?
thing, fragment. He said Brazilians play for everyone. Like basically almost all national teams have a Brazilian in their Brazil.
I'm not sure
I
about
swear,
everyone.
yeah,
I'm
China
not.
have
I'm
China
not
have
sure
like
about.
5.
I'm not sure about everyone, but the ones he mentioned, yeah, like Portugal, Italy, Croatia, China, Japan, they have one. They have few of
UAE
them.
UAE has one.
UAE,
Hey.
yeah, UAE has a couple
Yeah,
as well.
Fabio
Qatar has
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. All right, let's round off, guys. Andy Farrell, Englishman, manages Ireland. Ancelotti's in Brazil not to teach players how to play. It is there similar to Real Madrid, how to motivate to take the next steps together. Ultimately, his son David is a tactical brain. Portugal ain't winning nothing on my soul, man. Asians like nothing. Why would Portugal win the World Cup? They don't nowhere near the quality they need. No, the thing about Portugal is that they have a very good team on paper. It's just the manager's such a bum. The manager's a bum.
What happened to this? What happened to this guy said Argentina, Spain, Portugal, France?
But Portugal has a better chance of winning the World Cup next year than Brazil. Just saying.
I don't think so.
Oh well,
I don't
it's hard
think
to say.
so.
We'll see. Ronaldo lifted World Cup with Portugal. Dwarfs Messi's World Cup win.
Okay, this guy is just dreaming right now. This guy is just dreaming right now.
Like this Penaldo dick ride, like it's crazy.
Whoa.
Like it's typical Penaldo, man.
Okay, guys. Let's be careful what we say here.
He's not even the real Ronaldo, by the way.
Okay, why would Portugal win? Okay, I think I read that. It won't happen though. Only good teams win the World Cup. Okay, guys, Portugal still has a good roster. Let's not beat this.
Yes, but they ain't winning the World Cup after winning the Nations League.
Yeah, I'm not gonna stay humble. Portugal won a fluke tournament. And people overreacting. No, okay, come on.
Exactly. I agree with this one, bro. I agree. People overhyping them now.
Yeah. That the issue is with Uruguay. Everyone loves Tavares, but it's not well, and they hate Bielsa. He changed everything, but people hate it. They cannot sign him as he qualifies. It keeps competitive. Yeah, the Brazilians should be backing Portugal.
Why should they?
I did back Portugal in the Euros and even in the Nations League. I was rooting for them.
That's
But
disgusting.
to say they're gonna win the World Cup, it's not going to happen.
I'm just gonna say I would never support I would never back Denmark in the World Cup, by the way. Unless you play USA and England, then I'm gonna.
Wow. Okay, bro. Streamer's gonna need to head up. All right, so let's round up. So let's give our final conclusion. So I think for me, countries should be able to hire foreign managers, and I just think that for me, it shouldn't be a rule. It should be they should be allowed to hire, and I don't know why people say it shouldn't be allowed. So I think we're all in agreement of this, right?
I agree.
Yes.
But look, I'm also going to say this: if the foreign coach lives in the country, might as well say that they're one of their own.
I mean,
Yeah,
you can
and also I feel
like
and
USA,
I also feel
like USA, you can sign Matt as coach, and it won't be a problem.
and ultimately, I think the thing is that I don't know if you guys agree with this. Does the player have more weight than the manager, or the manager has more weight than the players on the national team?
The players have more weight on the national
I
team.
think, yeah. But look, the players are
That's
more
part of my
important.
argument earlier.
But you also need a coach who is there that has the respect of the players, that motivates them, that doesn't try to do all this bullshit. But because if the coach doesn't have respect in the national team, it's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, I think you need to balance both, but I would agree that players
Yeah.
probably have more weight than the manager for the national team. So, anyways, I think we're gonna round off here, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. This was a nice debate to have for the month of June. Of course, we'll see if we can do one for July. We'll probably do the July one. Will probably be after the Club World Cup ends. And yeah, it was good having you guys on. Remember, guys, like and subscribe. And yeah, let me just see how many likes we're on today's stream before we round off.
Club World Cup is a bum ass tournament. Nobody cares.
Hey, respect Club World Cup.
Nah, fuck
right,
that.
so-
Club World Cup.
Okay, so we got 8 likes, so I think that's pretty good. So we're gonna wait a few seconds just to round off, make an hour. So, anyways, I'll see you guys next time, man. Peace out.
Peace out.